Of course you knew it was going to end that way. This is cops and robbers MGM style, where even bookies and strippers and gigantic shootouts with Tommy guns still have the studio's patented patina of artifice and optimism. It'd be the following year, 1950, that MGM would release a crime picture that sandblasted away the last bit of studio polish, John Huston's neo-realist noir masterpiece, The Asphalt Jungle. Now, it may not be fair to compare a journeyman like Roy Rowland to John Huston, who was one of the greatest filmmakers ever. But Rowland had more than a few good movies on his resume. Now, he originally studied law at the University of Southern California with every expectation of becoming an attorney. But in the early 1930s, he got a job as script clerk at MGM, where he quickly worked his way up by marrying Ruth Cummings, the niece of Louis B. Mayer. He directed mostly B features and shorts for MGM, including a few in the Crime Does Not Pay series, before he displayed a deft and gentle hand with a pair of features starring child actress Margaret O'Brien, Lost Angel and 10th Avenue Angel. Now, even better were two historical dramas, Our Vines Have Tender Grapes and The Romance of Rosie Ridge, which starred Janet Leigh in her movie debut opposite Van Johnson. Now, these types of earnest, uplifting films seem to suit Rowland's temperament better than the foreboding world of film noir. Although once he'd gotten a taste of the dark side with Scene of the Crime, Rowland did well with two other examples of the form, both released in 1954, the terse and violent Rogue Cop and the Barbara Stanwyck thriller Witness to Murder, photographed by the legendary John Alton. Now, despite those successes, I suspect Rowland will be most remembered for The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, his hallucinatory 1953 adaptation of a Dr. Seuss story about a boy who invents an alternate reality in which he rescues his pals from the clutches of their mind-controlling piano teacher. Could that be considered Seuss noir? It will come as no surprise that Van Johnson and film noir never made it past the first date. While Scene of the Crime did decent box office, the public just wasn't buying him as a hard case.
I said, let's get out of here. I'm taking you to a movie. We'll eat 6-cent candy and hold hands.
He was more believable as a likable, ordinary guy in dire circumstances, like in his next picture, Battleground. Produced by Dory Sherry and directed by William Wellman, it was MGM's biggest hit of 1950. During the following years, the studio squeezed out the last bit of Johnson's youthful charm in more musicals and comedies, but it was on loan out to Columbia, opposite Humphrey Bogart and Fred MacMurray in the military drama The Caine Mutiny, where Johnson turned in one of the best performances of his career. In fact, Van Johnson probably played more soldiers than any other actor in Hollywood. Ironic, given that he was deemed unfit for military service after an accident he suffered while playing an Air Force pilot in the 1943 film A Guy Named Joe. A car wreck nearly tore off Johnson's scalp and left lacerations to his face and a permanent scar that had to be hidden with makeup. His co-stars, Spencer Tracy and Irene Dunne, wouldn't let Johnson be replaced, effectively shutting down the production until the actor recovered. Now, A Guy Named Joe was a big hit, after which Van Johnson became America's favorite soldier in films like 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, the human comedy Pilot No. 5, and Command Decision, to name just a few. Now, don't think for a minute I was going to wrap this up without mentioning one of this film's highlights, a juicy bit from TCM favorite Norman Lloyd, now 103 years old, as the squirrely stoolie known as Sleeper.
How about that? You and me, buddy, old lang cinch. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Out this way.
If it wasn't for Gloria DeHaven, Norman, as usual, would have stolen this show. And Norman, if you're watching, I know that you know that I know that you are one of the greatest characters ever. Now, the bad news. I'm taking it on the lam the entire month of August as Noir Alley makes way for Summer Under the Stars. And if you want to cry about it, let it all out on our Facebook page and Twitter feed. Not that it's going to do you any good. This was predestined. In fact, it's in the stars. But if you do need a noir fix next month, get yourself to Chicago, where from August 17th to the 26th, I'll be presenting the Noir City Film Festival at the Music Box Theater. I'll be there opening weekend hosting a sensational selection of classic noir on the big screen. If we miss each other in the Windy City, see you back here on Labor Day weekend when Noir Alley resumes with Lorraine Day and Robert Mitchum starring in The Locket. Until then, see you in the shadows.